We have not talked about unpaid wages, and that's really a big part of my practice. Unpaid wages can exist at all levels of employment. It's not just people that are hourly. The hourly people have different rights, and they have a lot of rights. The overtime thing is an issue. So is double time. And these days, it has to be paid at the right rate. There's a case came out called DART, and I believe it's Alvarado versus DART. It's not new anymore. It's a couple years back now from the California Supreme Court. And it says that if you're getting fixed rate bonuses, your overtime rate has to be based on the fixed rate bonus. So there are a lot of cases now about did they pay me the right overtime, and they're big cases. I've got them, and I've got big money in these, like $350,000. So those may be cases you want to call me about if you got the right rate for overtime because you had a fixed rate bonus, whether it was a rent credit, whether it was a show up to work thing that happens in the oil fields. All kinds of situations. Daily bonuses are paid at different jobs. Call me at 877-525-0700. Normal business hours are right after the show. I'm going to take some calls. 877-525-0700 to find out if you can sue for unpaid wages. Overtime and double time are certainly not it. A lot of labor codes came on the books during my career, actually. Meal breaks are a big one for the people that are non-exempt. Non-exempt means that you're not supervising people 51% of the time, or maybe 50% and a feather. It doesn't have to be much more than half before you start getting exempt. And you have to make enough to be exempt if you're a manager. Twice minimum wage, by the way. There are plenty of professions that are exempt. If you got a license, you might be exempt. Lawyers are exempt. Doctors are exempt. Social workers are exempt if they're LCSWs. If they're bachelor's degree levels, maybe not. Accountants, maybe not. CPAs are. Very technical about who's exempt. The kind of thing you got to talk to me at 877-525-0700 about. So we've got the situation where there are commissions. We got a lot of commission employees in LA. I got a call in the middle of the show last week from a salesperson, a lot of salespeople. Commission cases are big cases. I had one that was 1.15 million, and I remember that because that was like 2002, and it was just contract for software, and big commissions weren't paid. So you maybe owe commissions, and they may be huge. I've had a lot of commission cases where people are owed a lot of money in commissions, and if you're fired because your employer doesn't want to pay you the commissions, that's a case too. Besides overtime, double time, meal breaks, there's also rest breaks. We all know that. That does not apply if you're exempt. Now, the rest break cases, I'm probably not going to take one if it's one person. It would have to be one person to work there a while. There'd have to be other issues because, it's 1 hour pay for every missed rest break, and that just doesn't add up to that much always. If they're meal breaks too, it's a little bit better, but those are the cases where I generally have groups. I refer the cases to people if it's just one person. They're lawyers that like to negotiate the smaller wage and hour cases and maybe even go to the labor board with it. They know the employer has to pay, and so they are willing to do it. But for me, I can't really be taking cases that are worth $3,000 to $10,000. It just doesn't really work because I've been doing this a long time. I have a lot of staff, and I'm doing these cases for that kind of a thing, at least meal and rest breaks. For groups of people, class actions, or PAGA, which are private attorney general penalties.